Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and today's video I'm back with another live stream, another transfer live stream. And what are we going to be talking about in today's live stream? Well, I wasn't live yesterday, so there's a lot to cover. Of course, we'll be talking a little bit about the Euros games as well. I'm sure a lot of you watched the Portugal game where Bruno was brilliant. I know he didn't get goal or assist, but he was brilliant. Ronaldo was brilliant, and Ronaldo to return to Manchester United. Rumours have been going along all week. Ronaldo Pogba swap deal, so I guess we might as well cover that one on the topic of Ronaldo. We'll also be talking about a Manchester United player undergoing their medical. Our first signing of the summer in Tom Heaton will undergo his medical next week. Trippier deal closed. We've made a Trippier bid, but that got rejected. We're going to make a second bid for Trippier. We're going to make a second bid with Sancho. Sancho Trippier closed. What's the latest on Varane? There's so much to talk about. So please hit that like button, subscribe down below, and share this video. We are 10 subscribers away from 13.9k, so we're on the road to 15k, 10 subs away from 30.9k, so keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing. We'll talk about the news. I'm sure you guys have watched the Euros. Obviously, I normally go live about 7:45, but I'm like, I might as well go live at 7:15, because obviously Pogba's playing at 8 o'clock, so it's a good day for United fans, because we get to watch Bruno play, and then we get to watch Pogba play, and next week we get to watch Bruno and Pogba play at the same time. But I thought Bruno was brilliant. Just because he didn't get a goal or assist, people say he's crap. But Jota had one of them. You know when Rashford has an off day, Jota played like that, where none of Jota's passes were working, nothing was going for Jota. And Ronaldo and Bruno, I thought played very, very well. And we will talk about the Ronaldo return to Manchester United, because that's a rumour. We'll be talking about the medical. We didn't really talk about the medical because it's Tom Heaton. We'll be talking about the second bid made for Trippier, second bid for Sancho. Apparently, we're putting in a second bid for Trippier and Sancho. Did we even put in the first bid for Trippier? Because the source it came from was a bit iffy. Varane definitely will leave Real Madrid is the news. And that actually, news. United have a chance of getting Locatelli. He's available for 40 million euros. And English clubs are looking at him, as Fabrizio Romano said. I think Juventus want him, but if Arsenal were trying to get Locatelli for 40 million, United can get him. This is what confuses me about Locatelli and Basuma. Arsenal went in for Locatelli and Basuma for 30-40 million quid when they brought Partey for 30-40 million quid last summer. We need to see him more than Arsenal. So if Arsenal can get these players, we can definitely get these players and all of that. But let's get straight into the transfer news, straight into the news that you've joined for. Please do hit that like button, subscribe down below, share this video, and then if you have any questions for me, do put them down below in the live chat, as the goal is to read out a lot of live chats as the live stream goes on. So yeah. So the first story I want to talk about is Kieran Trippier to Manchester United. Now, Football Insider has come out and they talked about two things. And I'm going to quote some of the things that Football Insider said regarding Trippier to Manchester United. They said that Manchester United are close to completing a deal for Atletico Madrid, Kieran Trippier, and Solskjaer's very keen on his addition, and that he's begun house hunting in Manchester despite the gap in United and Atletico's price. So Solskjaer's really, really keen for Trippier. Trippier is looking at houses in Manchester. We know Trippier has asked his England teammates about Man United. Trippier is pushing for this Man United news. Solskjaer wants him. Apparently, we're very, very close to completing the deal. This is Football Insider. They also said that Kieran Trippier has told his England teammates he expects to sign for Manchester United in the summer. Kieran Trippier thinks he's going to sign for Man United in the summer. And, well, Kieran Trippier likes to tip off his mates when he's doing a move. That's an awful joke, but it's not a joke, but you know what I mean. After seeing the offer of 10 million rejected Trippier, so apparently they also said that Man United made a £10 million offer for Trippier, which was rejected. I mean, £10 million, fair play, United. If you go on for £20 million, fair play. I wouldn't pay more than £20 million for him. But that was rejected. So we made a £10 million bid for Trippier. That was rejected. But United expect the return to happen with an improved bid. So Football Insider is saying that Man United want Trippier. They've made a bid for 10 million. It's got rejected, and they hope to come with an improved bid. Now, Fabrizio Romano or no one tier 1 has confirmed that this is true. But we have been linked to Trippier a lot, and maybe we have made a bid for him. And this is early news coming out. We know one thing I've learned from this transfer window is fucking hell, journalists like to recycle each other's news. One journalist will say something, and then 4 days later, the same journalist will just say the exact same thing, but just change the wording. Today, more Jadon Sancho news out today, and it's just recycled. I tell you what, this transfer window has just told me journalists love to recycle news. Oh my god! Now, I'm talking of Sancho. Fabrizio Romano said that the negotiations are still ongoing, and Telephone Ducker, a pretty reliable source. James Ducker from the Telegraph, well, not like he's not like tier 1 reliable, but I actually quite like some of the stuff it says that Manchester United are currently haggling with Borussia Dortmund over the German club's 95 million euro demands for the England winner Jadon Sancho, even if there remains an expectation of a deal being struck. Apparently, we're still in negotiations about this price because it's a story that Dortmund are trying to higher the price. But as far as I'm aware, I think it's 90 million euros plus 5 in add-ons, which is I think if we pay about 80 million pounds, we'll get the Sancho deal done. I just say 80 million pounds before July 23rd, and the Sancho deal's done. And talking to Sancho, ESPN came out and wrote a load about Sancho, but it was quite recycled. So I'm not going to get too deep into the Sancho stories unless something super relevant comes out, because it's just recycled news. But ESPN did say this. Besides Sancho, Solskjaer is keen to bring in at least 2 more players immediately strengthen the Manchester United first team, with centre-backs, CDM, strikers and right-backs all being considered. So we want Sancho, and it looks like 2 other signings, which I'd hoped would be a centre-back and a CDM. Obviously, Locatelli is a player we'll be talking about a little bit later, a player that I've only seen a little bit of. Whenever I see him, I'm like, oh, this guy's impressive. But the news also coming out from ESPN do say that we want Sancho, probably a centre-back and CDM, if not a centre-back and a right-back, and all that, which brings me to the Varane news. Now, Rafael Varane to Manchester United, a player that we've wanted for a while. He seems to be our #1 transfer priority. You know, we want Varane more than anyone else. I think he is our first choice centre-back. Fabrizio Romano said that Manchester United are keeping a close eye on Varane. We also like Koundé. I think it goes Varane, Koundé, then our third choice are like Pau Torres, Cristiano Romero and all that. But Samuel Larkhurst has said that Rafael Varane has never been more attainable for Manchester United, but a source said matters are quiet for now. Varane is on France duty. Real Madrid are prepared to sell the Frenchman to United. So according to Samuel Larkhurst, Man United have never been closer to Rafael Varane, and you know it's gone quiet because Varane's on French duty, but Real Madrid would be prepared to sell him to United. Obviously, it's come from Samuel Larkhurst to take with a pinch of salt. He also said that Manchester United have got the ball rolling on a deal for Kieran Trippier and has reverted his UK phone number, apparently. But why does that matter that Trippier's reverted his UK phone number? He is in England this summer, but you know what journalists are like. They do find some of the most irrelevant stuff in news. And Samuel Larkhurst also said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has asked Manchester United players for their opinion on provisional fullback targets that would command frugal fees, which is an interesting thing. And the final thing he said, talking to CDMs, because we will be having a show about CDMs, is that Declan Rice is apparently interested in joining Manchester United, but the expectation is he will spend at least 1 more year at West Ham, who value him close to 100 million. So Declan Rice would like Man United, but the expectation is that Declan Rice will stay at West Ham and he will stay another year at West Ham, which that again does not surprise me. I said I'd give £100 away if United do sign Declan Rice, and I don't think we will sign Declan Rice. Please do hit that like button, subscribe down below, and share this video. I'm going to answer a few live chats, and then I'm going to get into the Ronaldo story. But Adam Talk Sport has just asked me, what is the latest on Jadon Sancho to Manchester United? Well, Adam, if you want the truth, the Jadon Sancho to Manchester United stories is very, very repetitive, very, very repeated news. The latest regarding Sancho to Man United is that the deal was close to being done. The deal could be done anytime this week. United have made their first bid, it's rejected. United are going to make it a second bid. The deal is imminent. The deal will happen. That really is the latest on Sancho to Man United. But it's very, very recycled news. There was a story that came out from, I'm going to say, Berger. I will double check. There was a story that came out from Berger saying that the problem with Man United and Sancho is that Jadon Sancho, sorry, voice is gone. Voice is gone. But Jadon Sancho deal is like part in valuation, and apparently the problem for the Jadon Sancho deal is not the price, it's the way that Man United want to deal, you know. I will find that story. I will get that story up and talk about the story. But apparently the problem with the Jadon Sancho deal isn't actually the price. It's that Dortmund want us to play over 4 years and Man United want to play over 5 years, which is fucking stupid. Just get it done, if you want my honest opinion. If you have any questions for me, please do put them down below in the live chat. We've got some weird spammer with no life in the chat. So if any of the mods could just block that person, that'd be really, really handy, as I would like to see you guys' comments. Oh yeah, this is an interesting story. Andrew says, Varane to PSG worries me. Real Madrid will likely have their pick of Koundé or Torres, so as usual, we'll be passive picking up the scraps in the market, which is a very, very fair point there from Andrew, because I am a big fan of Rafael Varane to Man United. I'd like Manchester United to sign Varane, but the problem is, as this guy said, there's a rumour coming out that actually Varane would much rather go to PSG because he wants the France return and all of that. And, you know, as I said, you know, United could get Varane. I think United have a high chance of getting Varane. But I said Varane will go to where he wants to go. As I said, Varane will go to where Varane wants to go. So yes, Varane is our first choice target and all of that. And yes, Varane's our first choice centre-back target, was being confirmed for Fabrizio Romano. Yes, there's a high chance we could get Varane. If Varane wants to go to PSG and PSG want Varane, there is a very, very high chance that Varane will go to PSG. And as this comment says, that means that then Real Madrid, obviously they've got Alaba's replacement, but if they want Koundé, they could swoop in and get Koundé because they're just better in the transfer market than us. And then we get left with the centre-back we don't want. I think it's really, really important that we do step up our pursuit for a centre-back. I think it's really, really important that we get this Sancho deal over the line, but also we do step up our pursuit for a centre-back, because if Varane goes to PSG, we're left with Koundé, who's our second choice. And let's say Varane goes to PSG, Koundé goes to Chelsea because they've whipped up their first choices. We're then left with battling Real Madrid for Pau Torres, who will go to Real Madrid. And then who are we left with centre-back-wise? Maybe Cristiano Romero, maybe Sven Botman, but they're like Ollie's 5th and 6th choice targets. And if Ollie gets his 5th and 6th choice targets, is he likely going to play them? You know, is he just going to bench them behind Lindelof? Because Tuanzebe's a decent centre-back, but he gets benched behind Lindelof. And that's the problem. Liverpool have already got a centre-back in Konaté. Real Madrid have already got a centre-back in Alaba. Bayern Munich have already got a centre-back in Upamecano. A lot of players have already got centre-backs, and that is really, really frustrating, because I just look at United and I go, so Varane goes to PSG and Chelsea want a centre-back and Chelsea get Koundé. We're battling out for Pau Torres, Sven Botman and Cristiano Romero. And I don't know if they're the centre-backs we need. I think Jules Koundé and Rafael Varane are the centre-backs we need for pace. And I think Cristiano Romero is decent. I don't know enough about Sven Botman. But United are sort of in a situation where, are we just going to get the centre-back that no one wants? And, that is a very, very interesting question that is commented down below. Sadiq Rahman says we don't really need a striker. I always believe Man United would like a striker, but again, it's not really coming from reliable journalists. I don't think Man United need a striker because Cavani is staying another year. There is rumours about Ronaldo returning to Manchester United and all of that. If there's any issue with my Wi-Fi and all that, please do put that down below in the live chat. I would like Man United to sign Ronaldo, I think. I don't know how I feel about Ronaldo, because Ronaldo played so good today. I'd like us to get Ronaldo, but I'd like us to get Cecilio in the centre-back first. But there is rumours about a Ronaldo return to Manchester United and all of that. Yeah, could there more to block these spammers, because it's kind of annoying, because I'm trying to read out as many live chats as I can, but I've got some losers in the chat, which is a bit weird. As if PSG need a centre-back. That's a good point there. I don't really think PSG need a centre-back, but PSG is PSG. They've got all the money in the world. PSG are going to do what they want to do. PSG are going to do what they want to do. And if it's true that Varane wants a France return and he wants PSG, PSG will get Varane. That's the frustrating situation. I love Rafael Varane, but as I said, he's got 1 year left on his contract. He's in a very, very powerful position. He'll get the move he wants. Like Paul Pogba will go to the club he wants to go to next year. If he wants to stay at United, he will stay. But if he wants Real Madrid, he will go next year. If he wants Juventus, he'll go next year. And when you have 1 year left on your contract as a player in a very, very powerful position, Alaba managed to push a move to Real Madrid. David Alaba did. That's where he wanted to go. Rafael Varane, if he wants to go to PSG, he's going to go to PSG. And as I said, I don't want to repeat myself. I love Rafael Varane. I would love to get Rafael Varane. But as time goes on, I'm feeling less and less likely that we're going to get Rafael Varane. I feel very, very likely that we're going to sign Sancho. I think we will sign Sancho. But I feel very, very much like, are we going to get the centre-back no one wants? And that's my biggest fear. Are we just going to get a centre-back no one wants and just still play Lindelof because it's not the centre-back Ollie wants, to have a Donny van de Beek situation with a centre-back? Like a centre-back that's good and better than Lindelof, but Ollie will play Lindelof over them. Like Donny van de Beek's better than Matomlai, but Ollie will play Matomlai over him. Do you know what I mean? And I just think Chelsea will probably get Koundé. PSG will get Varane. Liverpool have already got Konaté. Bayern have already got Upamecano. Real Madrid have already got Alaba. Real Madrid might get Pau Torres as their long-term Ramos replacement, because Ramos is linked to Sevilla return, apparently. And who's that leave us with? Botman and Cristiano Romero. Cristiano Romero will probably move to like Juventus or Atalanta, and because Cristiano Romero is going to centre back left, then we just get priced out. And so Cristiano Romero, who cost us 40 million, will now cost us 80 million because we're in that situation, and we end up getting the centre back we don't want. Maybe there's options out there like Badiashile, Koulibaly, who we haven't really been linked to. But before you know it, you end up with Tyrone Mings, and that's the situation we definitely don't want to be in. If you have any questions for me, please do put them down below in the live chat. Someone's asked if Sancho could go to Liverpool. No chance Sancho's going to Liverpool. I tell you what, if Sancho doesn't go to Man United or go to Chelsea, because Chelsea have the money, he would. But if Liverpool wants Sancho, they'd have to sell Salah, Mane, or Firmino. So there's no way that Sancho will go to Liverpool, if you want my honest opinion. Udsav says, I just don't see why a 3-time Champions League winner and a World Cup winner would come to United. The only reason he would come is to throw stupid money at him, which is not right anyway. And to be fair, I would like Rafael Varane, but as I said, you know, we've learned from Sanchez, we've learned from Di Maria, we've learned from Falco. You only want to play at your club if they want to come. They're not coming for money. And you remember we were really, really close to getting Dybala. And I don't know if it was a PR spin, all of that. And we were very, very close to getting Dybala. And apparently the reason we didn't get Dybala is because it was pretty obvious he was only coming for the mad wages. And, you know, I think with Man United signing players, there was this thing that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said 2 years ago about wanting players that want to come to Manchester United, are desperate to play for the badge, seeing it as a step up. And those step-up signings work, you know. Man United is a step up from Dortmund. Sancho wants to come. He's not coming for the money. He wants to come. You know, we need players that want to come to United. As much as I want Varane, if he doesn't want to come to United, let him go to PSG because he's then coming for the money. And if a player comes for the money, they are more likely to flop, as we know. Please do hit that like button, everybody, and subscribe down below if you're not already subscribed. We're on the road to 14,000 subscribers. I'm 11 subscribers away from 13.9k. So if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. And any questions you might have, please do comment them down below in the live chat. I'm going to try and read out as many live chat comments as possible. This person says that Koundé is way more versatile. I prefer Koundé to Varane just because he's younger. I think, you know, Varane plays with Ramos and he gets carried. I think Koundé almost carries his defence. He's more versatile. And I think if I'm looking for a partner for Maguire, I think even though Koundé's small and people worry about Koundé's height, I think Koundé's mobility would make Jules Koundé a really, really good partner for Maguire. Any questions you have, please do put them down below in the live chat. If you just joined the live stream, what we're talking about is, now Man United would like Declan Rice, but apparently Declan Rice will stay at West Ham for another year. And if we were going to go for Declan Rice, it would be next summer, but he'd probably go to Chelsea. Man United are on the verge of signing Sancho. We're about to put in a second bid for Sancho, and apparently we're going to put in a second bid for Kieran Trippier. Apparently we put in the £10 million for Kieran Trippier, which was rejected. So we're going for Sancho, we're going for Kieran Trippier, we're going for a centre-back, but Varane could be going to PSG, which means we have to fight it off with Chelsea for Koundé, so Chelsea will probably win that one. But an interesting thing is Fabrizio Romano said that there's a lot of English clubs looking at Locatelli. Juventus want Locatelli, but there's a lot of English clubs in for Locatelli. We know Arsenal is one of those clubs. If Arsenal can get Locatelli, we can get Locatelli. But Locatelli is available for 40 million euros, and I just go, United, get this deal done. The only CDM we've been linked to is £100 million Declan Rice that will not be leaving West Ham. And as I said, if Declan Rice leaves, I will give £100 away. If Declan Rice goes to Man United, I'll give £100 away. The only Locatelli, 40 million euros. I just think get that done. Locatelli, 35, 40 million pounds. If you can't get Basuma, get Locatelli. Cooper Miners has gone to Atlanta. Sumer has gone to Leicester. If you can't get Basuma, go for Locatelli. If you can't get Locatelli, go for Sakara. Because I watched a lot of Locatelli, and I think he could be the CDM for Manchester United. I think he really could be the CDM for Manchester United. And he is available for £40 million. He could be leaving. A lot of clubs are in for him. And I just think United go on it. Why aren't we jumping on this Locatelli 40 million? Like Arsenal have just jumped on this whole Locatelli 40 million. Why aren't United jumping on it? Because for me, United should be jumping on Locatelli for 40 million. I don't know what you think, but we should. Well, the news is, so we've signed our first player in Tom Heaton. He'll be having his medical. We're going to put in a second bid for Sancho, and the Sancho deal will be closed this week. But then they said the Sancho deal will be closed last week. It wasn't closed last week. The Sancho deal better be fucking closed this week because they're so fed up with it. They're taking the fun out of it. And of course, Locatelli's available. Pogba for Cristiano Ronaldo swap deal. Cristiano Ronaldo to Manchester United rumours. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show and more. But yeah, please hit that like button, subscribe down below. And of course, any live chats, please do put them thing. This guy says Pau Torres is not worth anything anyway. I do agree. I don't think Pau Torres is the signing Man United should be making at all. I like Pau Torres, but he doesn't really look like the guy to partner Maguire. He's a decent centre-back, but he's not the partner that Maguire needs. I'm just going to take a quick swig of water. So any questions you have, please put them down below in the live chat. Hit that like button and subscribe. So I'm really, really fucking thirsty today. We've got a lot of spammers in the chat today, so I'm going to have to put some people on timeout. I don't know why, but we do. Okay, Ollie equals PE teacher. Were we really going back to this Ollie PE teacher? Oh, interesting one. Interesting one. I actually saw a story about this today. Tonali might be available. What are my thoughts on Tonali? So Tonali last summer, he went to AC Milan on loan, if I'm correct. And Tonali was a player that I really wanted last summer. He's a young CDM. I thought, what? Like, Tonali's gone to AC Milan on loan. Why aren't we in for this Tonali guy? Like, I'm a big fan of this Tonali guy. He's not really impressed this season. He's not been good this season. But I would still take Tonali, actually. And Tonali will probably be available because he wasn't good enough at AC Milan. I don't think AC Milan are going to play the fee that obviously was wanted for him and all of that. So to be fair, I would take Tonali. My first choice CDM right now, because Declan Rice and Wilfred Ndidi for me are unobtainable. So my first choice CDM would probably be Locatelli. And then I would say Sakaria. And then I would probably go in for Tonali. Maybe third choice. Because I'm just thinking who else is left. Basuma as well, actually, to be fair. Maybe you get Kessie, but yeah, Tonali didn't have a good loan spell, to be fair. So yeah, I heard Tonali will be available, and to be fair, if United fail to get the centre back they want, they might just dip centre back and go for a CDM. Also, Hannibal Mejbri starts for Tunisia today, so he'll be playing his first ever international start. So congrats to Hannibal Mejbri, and obviously Pogba will be in action later. Bruno was in action earlier, and Bruno was obviously very, very good yesterday. Today. What is wrong with me? I can't think straight at the moment. James Isaac asked me, what is the latest about Phil Jones, please? Some players need shipping out, collect funds, and get in new talent. We deserve every good player out there. We have to get rid of Phil Jones. If Phil Jones is a Man United player this time next year, I will lose my shit. I don't know how we didn't sell him last window. I don't know why we didn't sell him the window before. God knows why we offered him that new contract. United have to get rid of Phil Jones. I 100% agree. If you're new, subscribe to Alice Talks Football. Thank you very much, Diego. 10 subscribers away from 13.9k, so please do subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Dortmund are looking at Donny Marlin from PSV Eindhoven to replace Sancho. Yes, I did hear this story. Now, I'm a big fan of Donny Marlin. I know he's more of a striker than a winger. I actually would have liked United to sign him at one point, but it is believed that Dortmund have lined up their Sancho alternative in Donny Marlin and all that. Why the fuck is Penandes tendering on Twitter? Like, what? People are so immature. Like, I swear to God on this platform, Penandes. He had a good game. Is it just because he didn't get a goal you have to call him Penandes? I don't know why Penandes is trending on Twitter, but France-Germany kicks off in about half an hour, guys, by the way. And someone also asked me if I would do a watch-along to England-Scotland, and the answer to that is, I don't know yet. I don't want to say yes, but I don't want to say no. We only target English-speaking players because our coaching staff is all English, not a great strategy. I've never really thought of that, to be fair, SM. We do look at Brexit FC kind of players, maybe, but I don't think Martial or Fred really speak much English, but yeah. Bye-bye, spammers. Thank you for that, Jadon Sancho. Hurry up and join. I'm joking, I know that's not Jadon Sancho. When will Sancho deal be gone? Because in the social medias, everyone's trolling that United will sign him in 2035 for free. Honestly, the Sancho deal will happen this summer. I think it better. Like, if it doesn't happen, oh my God, there will be a rage video. Jesus. The Sancho deal will happen this summer. I can't tell you when it's going to happen this summer. We get told it's going to happen this week. We got told it's going to happen last week. We'll get told it's going to happen next week. But for all I know, it better fucking happen soon because I will lose my mind. I will lose my mind if we have to go on with this. Sancho's coming this week, then a week later. Sancho's coming this week, then a week later. What I know is, I know we will sign Sancho. I'm just like, we can't possibly go in for him again for a second year in a row, agree personal terms again to then not sign him. Like, I know we'll get Sancho, but the matter is when will United get Sancho and all of that. But let me get into the next story. If you have any questions for me, please do put them down below in the live chat. Whoever Anto says, whoever Manchester United sign, they have to play free well because Harry Maguire holds Luke Shaw and Harry Kane just scored a goal in a 6-1 thrashing, and Harry Maguire is 80 million. What a joke. Harry Maguire's a good centre back. He had an off game at the start of the season, but Maguire is a good centre back. We saw how shit we were without him. Like, we saw how shit we were without him. I think it's all about just having a good partner for Maguire, because I think when Maguire played with Bailly, he looked really, really good. But like when Maguire plays with Lindelof, he just looked a bit like off it, didn't he? So I think for Maguire, I think you need a good centre back to improve Maguire, but we also need a good centre back to improve us. Nick Morris says that Romero wants to stay at Atalanta now. Well, that's the problem. That is the problem. If Varane goes to PSG, Chelsea get Koundé, Real Madrid get Pau Torres, do we go for an aging Ramos that might not do it in the Prem? Do we go for Romero Atalanta that wants to stay at Atalanta? Then that leaves us with who? Sven Botman, Badiashile, decent players, but are they the players that's going to come in and have that Van Dijk impact on our defence? Are the players that are going to come and have that Ruben Dias impact on defence? And the answer is Probably not. At this point, every CDM of every other team is better. That's the thing. The thing is, I watch football and I go, there's Sancho, there's Rafinha, but there's not many other options for right wing. And like maybe that's because we got good right wingers, so our expectation for a right wing is quite high. Well, not right wingers, but attackers. But every time I see a CDM, I'm like, they're better than McTominay. They're better than McTominay. But I could name you like 20 CDMs. I would take it Man United over McTominay and Fred because they're not CDMs. And that's the thing. There's only one or two right wingers I would take at United, but there's about 20, 30, 40 bloody CDMs. There might only be 5 or 6 centre backs as well, but there's a shit ton of CDMs I would take at United. And there's a lot of CDMs out there this year. And we better hurry up and get on this CDM stuff because, as I said, Cooper Myers, Atalanta, 20 million done. Sumer, Leicester, 20 million done. That's 2 good CDMs done. All the well-priced good CDMs that everyone wants will be gone by the end of the transfer window. So if we want to get a CDM, we hurry up and get it done. And that's why I said it's really, really important that we get the Sancho deal done this week. There's obviously rumours that the Sancho deal will be done this week, but you just have to go, I'll believe it when I see it. Like, I won't believe Sancho's coming until I see him physically holding up this chair, honestly. But yeah. Robin's just said, Alice, would you take the Ronaldo for Pogba swap deal? Well, there's a lot of rumours about a Ronaldo for Pogba swap deal. There's a lot of rumours in the Ronaldo for Pogba swap deal. Now, Fabrizio Romano came out a couple of weeks ago and said there's nothing in this Ronaldo to Pogba swap deal, and it's not really come from very, very reliable sources. Would I swap Pogba for Ronaldo? Probably not. If we sign a CDM, so let's say we sign Declan Rice, then I'd be like, you know what? I love Ronaldo, but I just wouldn't. I love Ronaldo too much. I just don't think I would. I just don't think I would. You might think I'm mad. Let me know in the live chat. Would you swap Pogba for Ronaldo? I love Ronaldo. He's brilliant, but I just think Pogba's got a few more years, and then we need a midfielder more than an attacker. Our midfield's already shit. Like, without Pogba, it's Fred and Bruno gets under the ball. So I actually wouldn't swap Pogba for Ronaldo. And the more I think about it, to be fair, I think that I know it's Ronaldo, but I don't know. Would you guys do that swap? Would you guys do that swap though? Let me know below. SM says, would you be open to Martial Memphis swap? Memphis has matured at Lyon and his stats are solid as a striker. Lyon need a striker. Well, the thing is, Memphis is going to Barcelona. I'm pretty sure that's a done deal. And probably not because, to be fair, Martial was more successful at Man United than Memphis Depay was, and the stupid fly piss off. He gets injured before every transfer window. Who are we talking about? I have no idea which player we're talking about. Oh, Phil Jones, possibly. Phil Jones. But yeah. Why are there so many spammers out today? Like, seriously, people need a life. Someone said they take the licked Pogba swap deal. Remember, we were 2 transfer windows. We were like told we were this close to getting Delict, and apparently we're never in for him in the whole place. Would I take Delict for Pogba deal? Possibly, because we do need a centre back. But is Delict quick? He doesn't scream out as like a quick centre back for me. Which team have impressed you so far in the Euros? What team has impressed me? That's a good question. Who's impressed you so far in the Euros? Belgium, probably. Andrew says, if Pogba is leaving anyway, I would definitely like to swap Pogba for someone of quality. If Pogba's leaving, and the rumour is on Paul Pogba, he's either going to stay and sign a new contract or stay and leave on a free. You know, we won't find out if Pogba's going to leave this summer until after the Euros. The rumour is he is going to stay for another year, but he could just run down his contract. We won't find out if Pogba's going to leave till after the Euros because he's focused on France. But I think if Pogba leaves, it's very, very important that we get a replacement in probably a good CDM, to be fair, and playing McTominay and Donny as our box-to-box. Now, the only thing about Pogba leaving is, I think if Pogba leaves, I wouldn't go for Jack Grealish as a Pogba replacement. I know Pogba's been playing on the left in that creative role. I wouldn't go for Jack Grealish as a Pogba replacement. I'd go for Declan Rice because I think the reason we brought Van der Beek in this year is because we expected Pogba to go like that year / next year. And I think Van der Beek, Bruno and a CDM could be a good midfield free if you want my honest opinion. But yeah. Any questions you have, please do put them down below in the live chat. Thanks everyone for putting your comments. Any questions you have. Some people say we don't read Ronaldo. Well, there is this whole Ronaldo Pogba swap deal rumor. There is this whole rumor, but again, Fabrizio Romano a couple of weeks ago said there's nothing in as of yet. Maybe, you know, Ronaldo looks like he could be leaving Juventus. Ronaldo did talk about how promising it would be to go to United. I'm fucking flew in a flyaway. I'm not. But again, there's nothing super reliable in Ronaldo to Pogba swap deal. I'm just going to read out some of the latest news. And then I will address some of my comments. But obviously, Ronaldo was absolutely fantastic today. That second goal he scored to make it 3-0. The feet, the finish. Like, Ronaldo for 36, he's not finished. All these Penaldo, Penandes, they're finished, got agendas. They're not finished. Tom Heaton's had his medical. We signed our first player, and Tom Heaton, obviously, best signing we're going to make all summer. Tom Heaton, he goes for his medical next week. So first player's getting their medical next week. Hopefully after Tom Heaton, it will be a Sancho medical. Apparently we made a £10 million bid for Trippier, but Atletico Madrid laughed at us. Apparently we're about to make our second Sancho bid, and the Sancho deal is going to be done this week, but we got told the Sancho deal is going to be done last week. So don't believe the Sancho deal is done until you get your here we go. Every time I see Fabrizio Romano tweeting it's about Man United and I have my notifications on, I think, oh, is this the tweet? It's not. It's trolling me. Every time Fabrizio Romano tweets, I think it's United. I get annoyed. Varane wants PSG and France return. We'll talk about how Man United's number one priority centre back is Varane, but it looks like he'd rather go to PSG than Man United, which means we've got to battle it out for Chelsea for Koundé. And if Chelsea get Koundé, who are we going to get a centre back? And the other thing I wanted to talk about is Locatelli could be available. Arsenal want Locatelli and Basuma. There's the big race for a CDM. You know, Man United have to go in for a CDM. If Arsenal, who signed Thomas Partey, still want Basuma and Locatelli, you know, Arsenal with Partey and Locatelli would dominate McFred. 100%. Jota, I thought, had a bit of a nightmare today, and obviously the Pogba versus Germany game later. Well, France versus Germany, but, you know, Pogba versus Germany over here. Anto says that the Ronaldo-Pogba swap deal makes me laugh because United don't need a winger or striker because they after Sancho they definitely need Pogba. The thing is that I would love a Ronaldo return, but we're going to sign Sancho this summer. It's just a matter of when we finally get this deal done. But we will sign Sancho. Once we sign Sancho, it's really important we get that centre back in the CDM. You know, there's no point in us going in for Ronaldo if we sign Sancho. As much as I love Ronaldo, if you sign Sancho and you sign Ronaldo, cool, I'm happy. The fans are buzzing. But if you sign Sancho and you sign Ronaldo, you still got to play with McFred and Lindelof at the back. And that's the thing, you know, we could sign Sancho, we could sign Ronaldo. If you sign Sancho Ronaldo, I'm not going to complain. But if we sign Sancho Ronaldo, we still have to sign a CDM and a centre-back, because if you can have Sancho Ronaldo, but McFred, Lindelof, you're not going to win a Premier League with that. It's bad as it is. And you know what really annoys me is the pundits. You know, you sit on Sky Sports and these pundits, you know, and they'll sit there and not one of them will talk about CDM and centre-back. They'll go, United need Grealish, Kane and Sancho. Like these pundits will go, United need Grealish, Kane, Sancho. We need one of those three, definitely. Probably either Grealish or Sancho, because I think we need a winger more than a striker or Cavani staying. But Grealish, Kane, Sancho, Haaland, those four players, okay, say that we sign Grealish, Kane, Sancho, Haaland, fucking hell, our attack is sorted. But we still wouldn't win the league with McTominay and Fred and Lindelof. And it always makes me really, really confused when people are like, do. I would take Locatelli United. I think, you know, we're not going to get Declan Rice. It's pretty obvious we're not going to get Declan Rice this summer. If we do get Declan Rice, I'll give £100 away on this channel. Like, if you think we're going to sign Declan Rice, subscribe. By the way, guys, we are 10 subscribers away from 13.9k. 10 subs away from 13.9k. So please do subscribe. See if we can hit 13.9k by the end of the video. So please do subscribe if you're not subscribed. But this is the thing. Ndidi, you don't want to negotiate with Leicester. Even though Leicester signed Suma, Ndidi's off the cards. Rice is too expensive. We're going to spend 80 million on Sancho, which means realistically we're not going to spend more than 40 million on a CDM. Cooper minus 20 million gone. Suma 20 million gone. Eliseu Sakaria 30 million. Locatelli 40 million. Possibly Basuma 40 million. Possibly Tonali could go on the cheap though. He's had an off season. Possibly Yekesi's and all of that. But I think United should be jumping on this Locatelli. If Locatelli's available for 40 million, I think Man United should 100% be jumping on it. James Isaac says, watching Ronaldo today, I think he will be done sooner rather than later. Stick with Pogba and just sell, and the young lad with hunger for trophies. Look, as much as I'd love Ronaldo, I wouldn't do a Ronaldo Pogba swap deal. I do somewhat agree with that, but you know, Ronaldo isn't finished. Ronaldo is a very good thing. I don't get why there's loads of spammers in my chat today. It's a bit weird. Nick Morris said he'd love Verratti to replace Pogba. He's Terrier and midfield like Herrera was. I think Verratti would be a decent Paul Pogba replacement, but I think I just want to see the because I think Donny and I do believe McTominay could do a good job in that box-to-box role. I do think if McTominay, because McTominay ain't a CDM, but McTominay's best games was against Leeds and against Southampton where he got 40, looked really good. I think we need a top CDM. So you know how good Calvin Phillips was to England? I said this in another live stream. You know how good Calvin Phillips was to England the other day? The reason Calvin Phillips was so good is because he got this free roaming role because Rice just sat back and did all defensive work. Like Calvin Phillips, do what the fuck you want. If you get a top CDM, you know, McTominay can do that. Donny can do that. Pogba can do that. And I think a top CDM is a game changer. And Locatelli available for 40 million. United, if you're going to spend 40 million euros on Kieran Trippier, which you better fucking not, like 20 million euros on Kieran Trippier, fine. 40 million, you better fucking not. Go spend 40 million on Locatelli. Please do. Guys, 7 subscribers away from 13.9k. So if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. We're very, very close to 14.9k. On the road to 13.9k, sorry. On the road to 15k subs by the end of the transfer window. Can we hit it? Sav says he thinks Pogba will run his contract down because the signing bonus for him is more important than his agents will be huge. Yeah, a lot of people think, because the indication is that Pogba's going to do another year at United, whether he signs a new contract or runs it down. United want Pogba to stay and sign a new contract. United have offered Pogba a new contract, but he hasn't touched that new contract till after France duty. Fair enough, he's focusing on France. But the rumour is that Paul Pogba will stay at United and he's either going to sign a new contract or he's going to run it down. And a lot of people think he's going to run it down for the money, the bonus. He's probably got Mino Raiola, that knobhead, just nag him on going, Pogba, run your contract down. So Mino only cares about his money. He's a knobhead. I hate him. Hit that like button if you think Mino Raiola's a knobhead. I mean, I prefer him to the Glazers, but he's still a knobhead. We've got Fulham fan asking what I think about Fulham. I thought, Fulham were not thrashable this season. You lost a lot of games by 1 goal and you drew a lot, to be fair. I think you got a decent squad, but I just didn't think you invested enough for this season. But I have no issue with Fulham. What's your opinion on Ronaldo's new record at the Euros? One of the best international players, if not the best international player of all time. Sancho news is boring at the moment. I agree. Look, the latest on Sancho, there's so many news stories that came out about Sancho today. And the reason I'm not really talking about Sancho is because it's just such repeated news. Like, Fabrizio Romano will say something, the Athletic will say something, then 3 days later the Manchester Evening News will say the exact same thing, and then the day after that Samuel Luckhurst will say the next something else. And I can't be asked with the Sancho news, because unless something new comes out, I'm not going to talk too much about Sancho. Also, news that's just come in, guys, is Mason Greenwood and Amad Diallo have both been nominated for the 2021 Golden Boy Award. So congrats to Mason Greenwood, congrats to Amad Diallo. They both look brilliant. Amad Diallo, I just think he needs more game time, but he's looked really, really good. And there's news about Saul Niguez leaving Atletico Madrid. Fabrizio Romano has just come out and tweeted that Atletico Madrid are already planning medicals for Rodrigo de Paul. The deal is almost done at 35 million to UTD. So de Paul is going to Atletico Madrid, it looks like. And Saul could leave. He's expected to leave Atletico in the next week. So Saul Niguez, a player that gets linked to Man United every summer, Fabrizio Romano said he could be leaving Atletico. So here we go with the fucking Saul Niguez to Man United rumours. I tell you what, in the next week we're going to get Saul Niguez. If Pogba leaves, fine, go for Saul Niguez. But as I said, we don't know if Pogba's going to stay or not until after the Euros, because he's focused on France. But that's an interesting thing. Saul Niguez will be leaving Atletico Madrid. Guys, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe down below and share this video. If you have any questions or comments to me, please do put them down below in the live chat, as every like, subscribe, comment is brilliant. We've just hit 13.9k, so please do keep liking, subscribe and sharing the video. 13.9k on the road to 14k. Can we hit 14k by the end of June? So keep subscribing, of course. But let me continue up. I'm going to read out a few more live chats. So any questions you have, do put them down below. Someone said scenes if you walk away from the Sancho deal. Oh my god, the scenes on this channel if we don't get Sancho this summer. Oh my god, no. I sound like Janice from Friends there. I tell you what, the minute we sign Sancho, Fabrizio Romano is going to break the internet. He's going to break the internet when we sign Sancho with his "here we go." And the second we sign Sancho, the second we get that "here we go," Sancho is a Manchester United player, I will be doing a live straight away. So if you want to know the second Man United sign Sancho, the second it's confirmed, subscribe, because we will be live for, obviously, the Sancho signing. How much signings do you think Man United will make this season if we get Sancho as well? I believe we're going to sign 3 players. I think it's going to be Sancho, a centre-back, and a third player. Will it be Trippier? Will it be a CDM? We'll have to wait and see. I think we'll sign 3 players. I think we'll sign Sancho. I think we'll sign whatever centre-back we can get. And I think the third signing could be an iffy one, if you want my honest opinion. But I'm just going off the rotation of Manchester United and transfer windows. Sancho deal, the longest negotiation in football history. Fucking hell. This deal is going to be done in 2035, as we were talking about earlier. Do like, do subscribe and all of that. I would take Locatelli. Yeah, we were talking about Locatelli, available for 40 million. Man United should definitely go for him. I'm just going to take a quick swig of water. But if you have any questions for me, please put them down below in the live chat. I'm going to answer as many questions as possible regarding the Man United news. So please put any questions down below in the live chat. I'm freaking thirsty today. Yeah, any questions, put them in the live chat. But the best international players are Pele and Maradona. Ronaldo's got to be up there. Like, he's going to break the record. And he's won. And I know he's not won the World Cup and all of that, but He won the Euros, to be fair. Niall Kane says, evening, Alice. Just new on here. Love your Man United knowledge. Just gave the channel a like and subbed. Thank you very much, Niall. That does mean a lot. How are you guys feeling? Are you guys going to watch the Germany-France game? I'm going to be live for another 20 minutes, and then I might slip off and watch a little bit of the Germany-France game. But I'm going to be live for a little bit through it. But Pogba will be playing. I did watch the Portugal game. Bruno was very, very impressive. Locatelli reminds me of Busquets. Ooh, interesting comparisons. Things I don't really know that much about Busquets because I don't watch that much La Liga, so I can only compare players to Premier League players, weirdly enough. And Nick Morris says, I said a few things that United could actually go for Calvin Phillips in late July. You know what? That'd be interesting. I think with the CDM situation, I think it's clearly Sancho, Trippier, centre-back right now. But I think come end of the transfer window, I think we'll have an indication of what CDM we're going to sign, will we sign one, and maybe players like Calvin Phillips and Locatelli get more linked. But my biggest fear is because United takes so long on deals that all the good CDMs and centre-backs are going to be taken and we just get left the ones no one wants. Who do I think will win, France or Germany? I put money on France, but I think it will be a close, interesting, tight game. I do have to agree and all of that. I'm just going to read out a few more news stories that have come in, by the way. So please do comment any questions you have down below. The latest is that obviously Saul Niguez will be leaving Atletico Madrid, and that's just come in from the boy Fabrizio Romano. But the other news stories that's come in, it's obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has asked for United. No, sorry, not that one. It's the other stories that come in today is that Declan Rice will stay at West Ham another year, but he is interested in a move to Manchester United next summer. Some members in Pogba's inner circle remain adamant that he will not sign a new contract with Manchester United as his contract ticks towards the final year. A lot of stories about Pogba leaving and not signing a new deal, which means the Saul Niguez stuff is going to heat up. I tell you what, in a week's time, we'll be doing a long video on Saul Niguez. Now we know Saul Niguez is leaving from Fabrizio Romano. I tell you this, we're going to be linked to Saul Niguez. Will it be from anyone reliable? Probably not. Jesse Lingard's approaching the last year of his contract, so he only will be sold for 20 million. So the money we get for Jesse Lingard looks like it's going to be invested in Kieran. Trippier was a story that had come out, by the way, guys. Rafael Varane wants PSG, ideally, so we might not get Varane, but it's not come out from the most reliable source, but like it's a story that makes sense. Tom Heaton, obviously our first signing's got his medical next week, so Tom Heaton's got his medical next week. And Fabrizio Romano did confirm that Man United and Borussia Dortmund are still in negotiations for Sancho. And apparently Manchester United, Manchester City and Real Madrid are all interested in Nuno Mendes. Sporting will demand a 65 million euro fee to sell him. So about 55 million quid and Man United can get Nuno Mendes, guys. So let me know your thoughts on Nuno Mendes down below. I don't follow the Portuguese league that much, so I can't really tell you much about him, but I believe he's a very, very young defender. But 65 million euros I think is quite pricey for a player born in 2002, because I do know he's a youth star, but apparently we're in for Nuno Mendes. And I will do some more research on Nuno Mendes if we get linked to him again, but that's just a link from a source called Ojogo, so I don't know how reliable that is. And the thing is, I believe Man United want a more experienced centre-back. We want a centre-back that's going to come in and go next to Maguire straight away. We have good centre-backs in Bayu and Tuanzebe, but Ole doesn't trust them to play. And I just think, as much as we're linked to these young centre-backs, I think the centre-back Ole wants is a player that he can trust to play straight away. Because we know what Ole's like, he doesn't like to change it up. And ESPN did say, and I don't want to talk too much about Sancho, that as per sources, Manchester United are closing in on a £77 million deal for Borussia Dortmund winning Jadon Sancho as they look to bridge the gap with City, amid Joel Glaze insistent that the club want to invest in a squad. Will we invest? Well, I do believe we will sign Sancho. And apparently we've made a new offer to Atletico Madrid of 25 million euros, but that's come from a really, really unreliable source. So I would say take that with a pinch of salt. But we've made a Trippier bid, apparently. We know we've made, obviously, the Sancho bid. We know that's confirmed. We know there's rumours we've made a Trippier bid, but it looks like Trippier and Sancho are the two players we're trying to get wrapped up. We've obviously got Tom Heaton wrapped up. He's got his medical. And then we'll have to see what happens with Varane. We'll have to see what happens with Locatelli and all of that. I think regarding Manchester United transfers, also linked to Nuno Mendes and a lot of other players. And I think, we're not going to get Declan Rice. I doubt we'd get Ndidi. I think we do want a backup right back and all of that. Any questions you guys have, please do put them down below in the live chat. 18 likes needed for 100 likes, guys. So please, guys, if you have not already, smash that like button, because every like does mean a lot. Every subscribe does mean a lot. Please do subscribe. We're on the road to 14,000 subscribers. We are 90 subs away from 14k. So if everyone that's not subscribed subscribes, hopefully we can get to 14k. Someone's asked if we're still linked to Mings. We haven't been linked to Mings for a while. But I do tell you this. If Varane goes to PSG and Chelsea get Koundé and Real Madrid get Pau Torres, fucking hell, the Tyrone Mings links will be back, because that leaves us with Christian Romero and Sven Botman that we've been linked to. But yeah, Paulinho, I don't know a lot about Paulinho, but he's definitely a player that United should be more interested in him. Daniel Fleming says, what's my prediction for England versus Scotland? I think 2-0 England win. Anto says, what is your all-time favourite Manchester United player? Alice, for me, it's Wayne Rooney. I think for me, I liked Rooney, but I think I have to go Ronaldo. I was obsessed with Ronaldo as a kid. I just loved him and all of that. Ben White coming. The Ben White rumours are just a few things from the Manchester Evening News. You know, I don't think there's that much in the Ben White to Man United stuff. He has been linked to Arsenal as well. I do think it's clearly Trippier and Sancho right now. I do think for centre-backs, we've got to wait and just see till after the transfer window if you want my honest thoughts and opinions. Thoughts on France-Germany? I will watch the France-Germany second half, to be fair, but I watched the Portugal game, so I'm just happy doing the live for a little bit longer because but I do want to have a little bit of watch of Paul Pogba. With Allegri, is back there, no chance. 2 things United has to win trophies is a proper CDM and a world-class manager. Ooh, we definitely need a CDM. This is the thing. As I said earlier, we can sign Sancho, we can sign Ronaldo, we can sign Varane. But I don't think we can win a Premier League, even with those players, if we're playing Fred in the pivot next season, because they just get outclassed every game. And I know that Tommy's last game for United was a good one, but you know, the proportion of shit games McFred have to the proportion of good games have is much higher. And that worries me. Alice, I really believe links to top Italian talents leaving Syria almost never happens. Yeah, that's actually a good point there, Andrew, to be fair. We are linked to Christian Romero. There's Sandro Tonali available. There's Locatelli available and all of that. But he makes a good point. Like, when do we ever sign anyone from the Italian league? Who was the last player we signed from the Italian league? I can't even think. Fred? No. Lee Grant? No. Who was the last player we even signed from the Italian league? You make a good point. We never sign anyone from the Italian league when I think about it. People leave us a lot from the Italian league because Italian league's like the retirement home. But when was the last time we signed someone from the Italian league, actually? If someone can remember, please put that down below. Because I actually, my head's gone. A bit off topic, which United legend would you bring back in his prime? Well, probably prime Ronaldo. Or probably prime Rio third. I know, prime Keane. Prime Keane. We need what? Prime Keane or Prime Carrick? We need a CDM. I think right now, if you look at that squad, Prime Keane or Prime Carrick I'd bring back. Nick Morris says, if Varane goes to PSG, I'd see Marquinhos or Kimpembe would come to United, as neither will want to be benched at PSG. You make a good point. So Varane does want PSG, but PSG have got a lot of centre-backs. They've got a lot of decent centre-backs. And, you know, these centre-backs are good enough to be playing week in, week out. And as Nick says, like, these centre-backs aren't the type of centre-backs that are going to just be wanting to sit on the bench all day. So, you know, if Varane wants PSG, does that mean Kimpembe or Marquinhos become available? I think that would be really, really interesting to see what happens with that. But you do make a very, very good point there, Nick. I'd like to see one of them become available, to be fair. But I'd like Varane, but we don't know really what's going to happen with Varane, I think, till after the Euros. I think this is the problem. And I linked to a lot of players, and we want to know the future of players that could leave. We want to know the future of Pogba. We want to know the future of Martial. They've been both linked with moves away. We want to know what's happening with the Ronaldo news. We know that Sancho's going to come. We want to know when Sancho will come. We want to know if there's Trippier's in it. We want to know if we get Varane. But the problem is with the Euros coming on, I think a lot of stuff is just going to happen after the Euros, which is a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is. Scholes and Keane were my top 2 favourites. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Scholes and Keane. Any questions you guys has, please do hit them down, put them down below in the live chat. I'm going to try and read out as many questions as I can down below. And if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. We're on the road to 14,000 subscribers. We're 90 subscribers away from 14K. So please do subscribe if you're not subscribed. Someone said Darmian. Fuck off. Oh yeah, Darmian will be the last. I thought you said bring Darmian back. Darmian will probably be the last player we sign from Serie A. Maybe. I've read that Fred is having some good games for Brazil. Yeah, actually, Fred has been really, really good for Copa America for Brazil lately in the Copa America, actually. So fair play to Fred doing bits in the Copa America. I think, you know what, like, I always think there's a good player in Fred. Whatever he's United quality, you know, top 4 quality, yes, whether he's, you know, but I think Fred's problem is he plays with McTominay, and McTominay's problem is he plays with Fred. I think Declan Rice and McTominay in the pivot would work really well because McTominay could do what Carbon Phillips did for England. I think Fred and Locatelli could work. I think Fred and Van der Beek could work, but I just don't think Fred and McTominay work. But I think Fred and McTominay are good players individually, but I don't think they work together. Same with like Maguire and Lindelof. Although the more and more I watch Lindelof, I'm like, is he that good? Is it Lindelof that's causing Maguire to be bad? I think we all now know that Maguire is probably better than Lindelof. Any questions you have, please do get them down below in the live chat. How is the Haaland transfer? I believe Haaland will stay at Borussia Dortmund. I know Chelsea really want Erling Haaland. They could go all out for Erling Haaland, but they've been linked to Grealish. This is the problem. It looks like Borussia Dortmund are slowly trying to up the Sancho price. And if Chelsea go and pay the asking price for Haaland, which is something ridiculous like 130 million, Sancho, that will fuck us getting Sancho. The only reason we don't get Sancho, because we will pay 80 million for Sancho. Sky basically confirmed that. We're just saying if we can get him for less, just playing the long game, which we do. But if Borussia Dortmund get enough money for Haaland to sell Haaland, they won't sell Haaland and Sancho in the same transfer. So we should watch out for Haaland to Chelsea. But the only place Haaland's really been linked to is Chelsea. But I believe that Erling Haaland will probably stay at Dortmund for another year. I think Sancho will leave this summer. Sancho will come to United. Then next summer, Erling Haaland's got a £60 million release clause in place. And I think that is when he will go. If you want my honest opinion on that. Alice the Greatest, thank you very much. Please do subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We're 90 subscribers away from 14,000 subscribers. So everyone keep subscribing. Let's see if we can hit 14k. Let's be ambitious. 14k by the end of the week. Let's hope we can do that. Reshaf says, do you think Koundé is good enough to play with Maguire? Who would you prefer, Koundé or Torres? I prefer Jules Koundé to Pau Torres. I made a video months ago about why Jules Koundé would work with Maguire and why he's the good pairing for Maguire. Maybe one day if we're ever close to signing Koundé and it ever really, it looks, Koundé's a top target, but if we're on the verge of signing Koundé, I will re-release that video for you guys about why I think Koundé would be such a good player. I did a video on why I think Sancho's the perfect player for United, but the deal's just been dragged on that. I guess I'll just reshare that the day we finally signed Sancho as well. Not only to us, but the best Italian players tend not to leave Serie A in general for any clubs. They mostly take steps up bigger clubs there. You make a good point. Serie A, and you could say even Bundesliga, a lot of the Bundesliga talents go to Bayern Munich. A lot of Serie A talents work their way up. To be fair, they don't really leave. You make a solid point there, to be fair. I think the French league is the one that everyone just leaves because they just realise it's just such a shit league. But, yeah. Someone's rated CR7, Pogba, Ronaldo, swap deal. That is a rumour going on, but I don't think there's anything really strong in it. We'll only sign Sancho. I think we will sign Sancho and another defender. I'm optimistic about us signing CDM. I don't think we'll sign a CDM, but I think we will sign Sancho and a defender, if you want my honest opinion. I just hope we sign a CDM. And look, as I said, Locatelli is available. Locatelli is available for 40 million euros. 40 million. Why don't we just go for him? Honestly. Any questions you have, please do put them down below in the live chat. Vincent says the Sancho news is becoming boring. I think the Glazers are waiting for the right time to sell shirts. By now, we should be looking at other priorities. This is the thing. The Sancho deal is boring. You've been working on Sancho for 2 years. Get the deal done. Get the Sancho deal done. Get it done this week so you can focus on the CDM and the centre-back you want. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants Sancho and 2 other signings. We know that's a centre-back. We know that's a CDM and possibly a backup right-back. Get Sancho done so we can get this Varane deal over the line before PSG swoop in, or we can get this Koundé deal over the line before Chelsea swoop in. Just my honest opinion, I think get this Sancho deal done so we can get these other deals done. I 100% agree. And all of that. But who is our main transfer priority? Says Trezun. It's Sancho. Sancho's #1 priority. It's Sancho, it's Varane, it's Trippier. Right now, it's Sancho, Varane, Trippier that we want to get. There are 3 priorities. But you've got to remember, last summer, Sancho, Bellingham, and Grealish were 3 priorities. We didn't get any of them. Just because Sancho, Varane, and Trippier are priorities doesn't mean we're going to get them. I think we'll get Sancho, but will we get Varane? Will we get Trippier? Only time will tell. For all we know, we could end up with Sancho and Tyrone Mings. So, United CDM priorities don't. I know it sounds bad, but United never get their priority signings. And I got asked what centre-back I think Man United will sign, and I said, you know what? I think Varane and Koundé are the priorities, but I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with Pau Torres because he's not a priority. He's the cheapest, and he said, let's say he's the only one left. United have this thing where they just don't really always get their priority transfer because you know what we're like. We're a little bit shit in the transfer window. MD says we won't get a CDM. We'll have to wait and see, but there's not strong indications of us getting a CDM, which does really, really frustrate me. Anto says that Roy Keane is so violent. He criticised teammate. I can't be asked to read it out, but I like Roy Keane. We can't slander Roy Keane, club legend. Do not slander. But yeah. Is there any possibility of getting Tonali? Would love him at United. We talked about Tonali to Man United a little bit earlier in the show. So Tonali doesn't look like he's going to be going to AC Milan. He was going on loan to AC Milan when they had an option to buy it. To be fair, Tonali's been very, very disappointing at AC Milan. He's not been brilliant for AC Milan. I would still take Tonali, but there's nothing so far in Man United to get Tonali. But I think he's an option out there. And there's a lot of options out there at CDM. There's Locatelli, there's Basuma, there's Sakaria, there's Tonali. United, hop on one of these. Hop on one of these, please. I mean, there's even the CDM in the Portuguese league that someone brought up to me once. I forgot his name. There's a lot of CDMs. We definitely need to hop on these CDMs that we're getting linked to, for sure. MD was hoping for Koulibaly. You know what? There's a chance we could get Koulibaly. You know, if Varane does go to PSG and we panic, Koulibaly's getting older. He's got less time left on his contract. Napoli aren't in top 4, so they might be forced to sell. There's a chance United could land Koulibaly. Now you say that, to be fair. Man United swapping David De Gea for Manuel Locatelli. Unlikely that De Gea is going to go to the club Locatelli plays for, which I forgot their name. That's really embarrassing. Sancho is the #1 priority for 2 years, but still United can't sign him, and still United can't sign him. Don't know whether he's worth £80 million. I think Sancho is worth about £80 million, but we can sign him. We're just being idiots because of our owners. It's just annoying. Yeah, please do subscribe if you're not subscribed. We're on the road to 14k subscribers. We are 88 subscribers away from 14,000. 88 subs away from 14,000. So please do subscribe. See if we can hit 14k by the end of the week. I'm doing daily Manchester United content pretty much throughout the transfer window. We're doing a live tomorrow night. I'm live on Thursday night as well. Friday night we might do a live for England, Scotland in the Euros, and I'll keep you updated on all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news that comes out. But thank you very much. Andrew says Tonali has amazing potential, great on the ball, and he's quite rapid for DM. You know what? Locatelli is my first choice CDM. Sorry, my hair's made. Locatelli is my first choice CDM, but I would take Tonali. I think I would take any CDM. I think I'd just take a CDM. I feel like when it comes to centre backs, I'm like, would I take Pau Torres? No. When it comes to right wingers, would I take this right winger? No. Would I take the striker? No. But when it comes to CDM, I feel like I will just take anyone because I just can't put up with McTominay and Fred next season. Honestly, I just don't think I can. Koulibaly linked on the cheap for even 3 years or so. Prob's a good deal. Short term, he's still one of the best centre backs out there. Exactly, I think Koulibaly to United would be a good business. I think it'll be a good deal. Like, I have no complaints if we get Koulibaly. I'd like Koundé, but if we signed Koulibaly, I wouldn't be too bothered, to be fair. Because I think 1 or 2 years, Koulibaly and Maguire could do a pretty good job at that. If you want my honest opinion, I'd be more than happy to get Koulibaly. But a lot of people. I think Koulibaly like 3 years ago would have been a mad signing, but I think he has dropped off a bit. But I still think he'd be a good partner for Maguire, to be fair. But yeah, any questions, please do put them down below in the live chat. Samuel Ingram says, how about swapping Anthony Martial for Rafael Varane plus cash and selling Tahith Chong to Ajax? I think we have to get rid of Tahith Chong. I'm a big fan of Tahith Chong, but I don't think he's good enough for United. I don't think he's going to make it. If you want my honest opinion, maybe Martial for Varane swap deal. Again, my thoughts on Varane is I'd like Varane, but as we said right at the start of the show, I think we can only go for Varane if Varane wants us. We don't want Varane joining United just because we're going to offer him the most wages and he's going to use us for wages. We only want Varane if Varane wants us. I think that's my honest opinion on the Varane situation. But I would say if Martial wants to leave and Varane wants to join, I think that's a decent swap deal today. But I do like Tony Martial, and I don't want him to go. But there is a lot of rumours about Martial to Real Madrid, and we'll have to keep an eye on it. I think after the Euros, I know Martial's not at the Euros, but I think after the Euros, we'll know if Martial and Pogba are going to stay or go. But I'm trying to think who's Real Madrid have Benzema, and they've got Hazard. So do they really need Martial? I know Hazard's been a bit off, and I know Benzema's ageing. I guess they might need Martial because I do think the thing about Real Madrid, it's like when you used to think of Real Madrid, you just think, oh wow, all these Galactico names, but you know Hazard hasn't really worked out and Benzema is the best player, to be fair. So I do think Real Madrid need to invest and improve, to be fair. Like, that Real Madrid team is like nowhere near as good as it was years ago. We used to talk about the Bale, Benzema, Ronaldo, you know, Kroos in his prime, you know, Real Madrid, Modric in his prime. You know, Real Madrid do need to invest, but I just think, for me, I don't support Real Madrid, but I think that I'd look at a Modric replacement, and maybe Tony Martial's a Benzema replacement, but they do have Vinicius Jr. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Martial's an improvement on Vinicius Jr., let's be honest. Whether you hate Martial or not, I'd rather have Martial and Vinicius Jr. But I don't want us to sell Martial, but there is some rumours about him going to Real Madrid. But again, I think with transfer news, it's so like if, buts and maybes. It's just time will tell. Time will tell what we do in this transfer window. Time will tell who joins. time will tell who needs. Shivam says United need to focus on removing the deadwood and use that money to fund Varane deal other than Sancho and also try for CDM. I think it is Sancho, Varane, CDM. I think that's the way to go. I think Sancho, Varane, CDM is the way to go. Benzema better than Ronaldo now. Younger, I guess. I don't know. Ronaldo's better for me, but Benzema's a quality player. I think Benzema's an underrated player. But I'd still take Ronaldo over Benzema. Maybe because I just love Ronaldo. But yeah. Real Madrid has so many aging players that maybe Martial's a good signing for them. MD says Sancho centre back and back at right backs last year's targets. Glazers are playing us like a fiddle. Exactly. This is the thing. Like to be honest, our main targets last year were Bellingham, Grealish, Sancho. We didn't sign any of them. It looks like our main targets this year are Sancho, Trippier, and Varane. We'll probably sign Sancho, but not the other two, knowing our luck but stuff. But you know what United are like, which is so inconsistent. Transfer. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. And we're on the road to 14,000 subscribers, by the way, guys. We're quite close to 14k. We're 88 subscribers away from 14k. So if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe because every like and sub means a lot. Diego says it's important. Ollie has players in competition for key positions at your United to strengthen bench, I reckon. Yeah, as much as I'd like backup right back, I would take Trippier as a backup right back. I think we need a centre back, a CDM, and a right wing more, but I think we do need a backup right back because if Wan-Bissaka gets injured, it's Williams. And for Williams' career, he needs to go out on loan. So if Williams goes out of loan, we get rid of Delo, Fosu-Mensah's gone. If Wan-Bissaka gets injured, it's Tuanzebe out of position at right back. And if Wan-Bissaka gets a big injury, unless we start playing Luke Shaw at right back or Lindelof at right back, we saw how bad Lindelof was at right back. So I do think it's important we do get a backup right back, but I think CDM is just as important because I think if we need a backup right back for depth, we need a CDM for squad position. This comment says Varane, Basuma, Sancho, and Ronaldo equals quadruple. Ooh. I mean, there'll be questions over Ollie if he didn't win a trophy with that. I don't know if that's quadruple because it's never been done. You know, if City get Kane and Grealish, they should get quadruple. But there'll be questions over Ollie if he didn't win a trophy with that. Definitely a trophy, definitely a title challenge. But yeah, someone says Messi the GOAT. For me, it's Ronaldo overall. Some seasons Messi's better, some seasons Ronaldo's better. But Ronaldo's just won so many more different trophies. So I always go Ronaldo. This Rooney says, is Sancho and Varane really coming to Manchester United? Sancho will come to Manchester United. Well, I don't want to say will come, but I believe Sancho will come to Manchester United. It's a matter of when, not will he come. I don't know if Varane will come to United. I know Sancho was very likely to come. I don't know if Varane will come. I could put money on Sancho coming. I wouldn't put money on Varane coming. Rooney also says he wants Martial to go if possible and Rashford because Rashford's kind of play no longer bringing up the energy he wants. I mean, I wouldn't get rid of Martial and Rashford. I think Rashford's fault he's been overplayed. I think Martial's lost confidence and all of that. But thanks for the input. Kevin Ross says new to the channel, loving it so far. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Kevin. Samuel says, plus another centre back coming in. Will Axel Tuanzebe struggle to get games next season? I love Axel Tuanzebe, but I think for his career he has to leave. Axel Tuanzebe, we've seen enough of him to say, you know what, he should be starting over Lindelof. But you just don't know with Ollie. Ollie won't play Donny, Ollie won't play Axel Tuanzebe, and Ollie will sub on Mata over Ahmad. You know, that's my three biggest criticisms of Ollie. Just give more minutes out, rotate more, 100%. Anto says Sancho and Benzema is carrying a broken Real Madrid team and almost send them to glory. What did Ronaldo done? Nothing. Maybe a few years Ronaldo is better, but it's not changed. Benzema unstoppable. I mean, since Ronaldo's left Real Madrid, they've just dropped off massively. So I'm not 100% sure what you're on about and all of that. Samuel says he thinks that Villarreal should re-sign Eric Bailly. Well, we offered Eric Bailly a new contract, which is a mad one. I think we shouldn't have offered Eric Bailly a new contract. I love Bailly. I think on his day, Bailly's our best centre-back, but we shouldn't have offered Eric Bailly a new 5-year deal. He's so injury-prone, it just could be Phil Jones II. Any questions, do put them down below. Any questions from me, do put them in the live chat down below. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. And if you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, please do subscribe because I'm going to be doing daily Manchester United content throughout the transfer window. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share. We're 87 subscribers away from 14k, 87 subs away from 14k. So like, subscribe, share the video on all platforms and all of that because it means a lot. Thank you everybody for tuning into this live stream. I'm going to end the live stream here because I do want to watch a little bit of Germany versus France. But if you haven't already, please like, please subscribe, please share. I'll be live tomorrow night. I'll be live Thursday night with guests and England, Scotland Friday night. I don't know if I'll be live for that. Maybe on the second channel, maybe on the main. I haven't made my mind up. But all of that. Thank you everybody for joining in. put your notifications on. Any comments I didn't answer. Just put your notifications on and comment them in my next live stream, and I'll try and get through as many comments as possible in my next live stream. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share.